Shrugged family, this week on Barbell Shrugged, Coach Flavia is coming back, and today we're talking about the truth about energy drinks. So grab yourself a big old monster, sit back and enjoy the show. And guess what? Travis Mash probably had like 6 monsters right before he started doing this. So if you love them, it's okay. We're just going to tell you the truth about what's happening inside your body when you hammer all 24 ounces of that thing first thing in the morning. Friends, as always, make sure you get over to rapidhealthreport.com. That's where Dan Gardner, Dr. Andy Galpin are doing a free lab, lifestyle, and performance analysis. And you can access that at rapidhealthreport.com. Friends, let's get into the show. Welcome to Barbell Shrugged. I'm Anders Varner, Doug Larson, Coach Travis Mash, Coach Flavia hanging out today. Today on Barbell Shrugged, we're going to be talking about energy drinks. And I'm starting this off because you have a lot of research to get into, but can you just tell me what is the main difference between Coach Mash's favorite Monster energy drink and my most basic black cup of coffee? Why does there seem to be such a giant gap between those two?
Yes, great first question. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, that's the main and first question we address on our paper, Common Questions and Misconceptions about Energy Drinks. And I'm sorry to tell you, Mash, but there is not a big difference, okay? Other than, and when I say that, I mean in terms of ergogenic benefits, as long as you match the caffeine. So energy drinks will have anywhere between 150 to 300 milligrams of caffeine. And a regular cup of coffee will have maybe, depending on what kind of coffee you drink, maybe 70 to 100 milligrams. So you're kind of drinking 2 cups of coffee together. And energy drinks have, of course, other ingredients there, like the most common being B vitamins, taurine, sometimes sugar, sometimes guarana. But because there are so many brands of energy drinks, the market is insane. More than 500 brands. It's difficult to really tell you if the mixture of those different ingredients with caffeine make any difference. So because of that, we have done some studies with specific energy drinks and have tested only a few things. And we're interested more in the ergogenic benefits like performance benefits or maybe muscular endurance or reaction time. And the 3 studies we did with the Gorilla Mind energy drink, the ZOA, which is still about to be published, and the Ghost energy drink, we did not find any difference between the matched amount of caffeine versus the energy drink on some of those measures like reaction time, sustained alertness, number of push-ups, hand grip strength, memory tests, and things like that.
Hold on. Caffeine, though, is like a universally, I think everybody says, that's a good one for you. Like,
it's a good,
not the problem.
yeah.
What about all the other ingredients that I can't pronounce inside the energy drinks?
Yeah, I mean, like, what about the negative effects is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, I know performance-wise.
Yeah. So caffeine is definitely the biggest ingredient there. And then we have different blends, different proprietary blends. And like I said, we looked at 75, like the top 75 energy drinks in the market. And like I said, there are over 500. So it's hard to tell you exactly. But out of those top 75, taurine, B vitamins, guarana, sugar, like those were the main ingredients, sometimes green tea extract. But other energy drinks will have like alpha GPC or will have L-theanine, or vitamin D or folate. So it's really whichever blend that they decide to add there. They may think that because I'm adding L-theanine, maybe the jittery will be less, or maybe because I'm adding guarana, you'll have more energy than just drinking, caffeine. And there is a possibility, but honestly, it's just very hard scientifically to prove that because there are so many things mixed in the drink. So we would have to do like, let's do just caffeine, let's do just guarana, let's do
Yeah.
just, really.
Yeah.
How do
But
you define like, or how do you uncover a proprietary blend? Just N equals one me. Sometimes when I drink these things, they feel not like caffeine. They feel a lot more like Adderall. I don't recommend anybody do that either, but they
Mm.
feel a whole lot more like Adderall than caffeine. And it freaks me out when I just see the word proprietary blend without having any knowledge of like what's going into that.
Yeah, that's a great question because really nobody does. I don't either, and I'm sorry I don't have an answer, but they are not required to explain the individual amounts on this proprietary blend. For example, Guaraná is stronger than coffee beans, and they don't have to put the amounts of Guaraná in the drink. So if you have 200 milligrams of caffeine, but you have an extra 100 milligrams of guarana, you're kind of doubling that caffeine without knowing. And again, it just says
mm,
guarana as part of the blend. We don't know how much. We just know that guarana, like green tea, have this like energy and motivation and
mm,
arousal kind of
mm.
effect.
Yeah. Wait, can you explain more about that? Like you're Brasileira. That's way more common in Brazil than it is in the United States. Can you talk a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so Guarana was used by the indigenous tribes in Brazil a long time ago. I haven't researched too much about specifically Guarana, but yes, it's very common there. We have sodas with Guarana or we have teas with Guarana. And they used a long time ago with the goal of improving energy, alertness, reaction time, cognitive function, everything that we do nowadays when we drink energy drinks. So supposedly guarana is stronger than coffee beans. So if you take like a 1-to-1, I believe the guarana is almost like a 2-to-1 in terms of potency. So it could,
Wow.
yeah, so it could give you a lot of energy. And the fact that, and I looked more and more, like I triple checked, it's like, I really, they not putting in how much guarana, and they don't. It's just like Anders was saying, it's just part of the blend. So you don't know how much is in there. So it
Hmm.
might be why you're getting this effect, Anders, that you said of like high
Mm,
focus, high energy. But it could be because of other things
mm,
too. For example, taurine with caffeine or L-theanine with caffeine is supposed to help with this more less jittery type of focus. So when you have those blends, and I wish we had drinks that were only those two blends that we could really test. But again, because they have taurine, caffeine, and then 15 other things, it's hard to pinpoint like, oh yeah, it's only the taurine, it's only the L-theanine, but those two together have been studied with caffeine, and they are two compounds that are supposed to help with the jittery. So if you have a lot of coffee and you feel a little bit, jittery, anxious, the L-theanine and the taurine are supposed
mm.
to help with that.
What are the
Yeah.
benefits of just throwing all that in there? Why wouldn't you just put in three ingredients, a nice clean mixture? Like, why do they do that? Is my question.
Yeah, that's a great question. If I had an energy drink company, I think I would do only caffeine and maybe one or two more ingredients. I think a lot of that might be.
What ingredients would you put in on
Yeah,
top?
that's a
Yeah.
great
Well, I mean,
question.
I'd
Ooh.
imagine part of this is though, like there's 500 energy drink brands that you just mentioned. Like everyone's trying to stand out amongst the crowd, so everyone's trying to do all kinds of unique things to make them distinctly different. Even if
Exactly.
really the vast majority, that's like you got some sugar and caffeine, and now you have energy, good to go. But then you got to like stack on a bunch of other shit just so people buy your drinks over everyone else's drinks. It's a
Exactly.
it's a business thing.
Yes, I think it's a business and a marketing thing where then they can say like, oh, electrolytes. So they add sodium, potassium in there. And then they say something about B vitamins. Oh, providing you with vitamins. So they add, B vitamins. But in reality, the purpose of drinking an energy drink is to increase energy, right? Or
Energy,
maybe
yeah.
focus, or maybe get you through the day if you're working and you're exhausted, or for performance benefits. So, yeah, I would probably just have caffeine and maybe taurine or caffeine and L-theanine. Um, I wouldn't have all of the B vitamins. I mean, you can get that from food or a different supplement.
Hmm.
Taking B vitamins in an energy drink is not like you're going to drink the B vitamin and have that energy right away. B vitamins are supposed to help you with converting energy from foods, converting foods
Hmm.
into usable energy at a cellular level. So it's not that we can take a B
Yeah.
vitamin pill and go running like, oh, now I can run faster.
You got to have the
Right.
So
food to go
Yeah.
along.
It's necessary for glycolysis, et cetera, but it's not giving you instant energy the same way that having caffeine all of a sudden, like 15 minutes later, an hour later, like you feel like you're like, oh, like a little bit high, like you're buzzing.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But what are the
So,
negative?
Regarding
Yeah, go ahead.
apologies. Regarding amounts, like the vast majority of research that I've ever read on caffeine has been specifically to like endurance performance. And if I remember correctly, and it's been years since I really looked into this, like between 3 and 8 milligrams per kilo seems to be like the range for endurance athletes. And when I was like not ever competing, but like I ran a couple of longer races for fun, and we took kind of the upper end of that. We took around 8 milligrams per kilo, and it felt great. If as long as you're running a marathon, I don't think I'd want that much caffeine just walking around. I sit at my desk just shaking while I'm trying to type. But as far as focus, cognition, energy, but then also like the mental performance, what seems to be the healthy range there?
yeah. So the healthy range for not just aerobic performance, anaerobic performance, cognitive, is 3 to 6 milligrams is the one most used.
Mm,
Um, and some energy drinks may have less than that because, if we're comparing me 60 kilograms versus you 100 kilograms, I may
Mhm.
not be hitting the 3 milligrams per kilogram if I drink like a Celsius. I mean, I will, but you will not. So you have to keep that in mind. So 3 milligrams is kind of the minimum. And really, the timing is important as well. You want to drink 30 to 60 minutes before the activity. And there are some studies also done with longer duration aerobic exercise, like you were saying, a marathon, where maybe an hour and a half after the race, you take a little bit more caffeine, caffeine and hopefully some carbohydrates too. And that helped them improve speed or time to finish the race and things like that. But yeah, that's definitely the dosage, 3 to 6 milligrams. And you want to think about a few different things. Is the person used to drinking caffeine? If Anders drinks 3 coffees a day, and they are 100 milligrams each, maybe 300 milligrams for him might not be ideal right away. We can start maybe on the 4 to 5 milligrams per kilogram, versus like I never drink an energy drink. I only drink coffee. So if I drink three
Did you see
milligrams,
how she did that? Moral high
Yeah,
ground. I never do this. Only coffee.
yeah.
Yep, I saw that. I felt that. That's good.
I don't do energy drinks. I mean, even on the studies, I'm like, okay, let me try. And it's just too much. I feel like jittery is just too much at once. I love coffee. I could drink 2 coffees a day, sometimes three, but it's small amounts.
I don't do
Uh,
the energy drinks anymore, but the pre-workout I still do. I still dry scoop that.
yeah, yeah,
The
no,
the beta
that's a lot of
alanine.
caffeine.
Dry scoop that.
And
I
Out of the
do
mouth.
that.
oh,
I
Just the
do.
powder in the mouth.
I do. I do.
dry scoop it.
Yeah, I do. Max Ever. I love Corey Gregory stuff.
So it's right there
Gregory.
within reach. Pre-workout.
Yeah. As soon as we're done, I'm working out. I'm gonna take it to the dome and then
Yeah.
crush it.
Shout out to Corey G.
Yeah, Corey Gregory. So, like, what are the negative? Like you in the past, I've heard
Hmm.
so many negative things about energy drinks, about not being good for you. causing heart attacks potentially. Like, are there any truth to that?
Yes, there is, but there are nuances with it. You have to think about context a little bit here.
Yeah.
So if the person has any cardiovascular issues to start with, then they should avoid energy drinks because, again, it's just like they're drinking 3 cups of coffee at the same time.
Dr. Andy Galpin here. As a listener of the show, you've probably heard us talking about the Arte program, which we're all incredibly proud of. It's a culmination of everything Dan Garner and I have learned over more than 2 decades of working with some of the world's most elite performers, award-winning athletes, billionaires, musicians, executives, and frankly, anyone who just wanted to be at their absolute best. Arte is not a normal coaching program. It's not just macros and a workout plan. It's not physique transformation and pre and post pictures. Arte is something completely different. Arte is incredibly comprehensive and designed to uncover your unique molecular signature, find your performance anchors, and solve them permanently. You'll be working with not one person, but rather a full team of elite professionals, each with their own special expertise to maximize precision, accuracy, and effectiveness of your analysis and optimization plan. Arte isn't about treating symptoms or quick fixes. It's about unlocking your full potential and looking, feeling, and performing at your absolute best, physically and mentally, when the stakes are the highest. To learn more, visit aratelab.com. That's ARETE lab.com. Now, back to the show.
And energy drinks will increase heart rate, will increase blood pressure. So if you already have an issue, you're just kind of increasing the chances of something else happening. So it is a cardiac stimulant. And people with, maybe arrhythmias or high blood pressure, they should avoid, as well as pregnant women. It seems obvious, but it's important to know, since now, pregnant women can have some caffeine, but we have to keep in mind the other ingredients on the energy drink have not been studied with pregnant women. So I definitely would recommend pregnant women to avoid energy drinks. And teenagers as well, young adults and teenagers. And I know this population uses a lot. Like I see sometimes on the fields, like they're just, getting a Monster and all drinking before practice, which
Take Paul one. He's the cool guy that's making the energy drink. What's his prime?
Yeah, he's killing it.
My gosh. Dude,
yeah.
printing the cash right now. Every 18-year-old has cases. They sell it at Costco. You can buy Costco size prime.
They just took off out of the blue too. It's crazy.
Yeah. The Rock has an energy drink, right? Zoa, which we tested.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, I think everyone has an energy drink now. Messi maybe has one. I don't know. They're super popular.
But then, beyond that, just like at the most basic level, like unless you're doing some type of physical activity, then you're also just pounding needless sugar. Like if you're just sitting in class and you're in first period, you're in high school, you're just like smashing 35 grams of sugar for no reason. You're just gonna be sitting for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That can be good. The other thing to think about is the crash that happens with it, right? And how fast you metabolize caffeine. So we have fast metabolizers versus slow metabolizers. I don't know if you guys know which one you are, but I'm definitely a slow. So I have to stop drinking caffeine maybe by 10 a.m., 11. Usually the caffeine half-life is 4 to 6 hours, the average, but it could be anywhere between 2 to 12 hours. So if you're a slow metabolizer and you're having an energy drink, which is like 3 cups of coffee, high school in the morning, let's say 9 a.m., you might still have some effect at 9 p.m. So it might be hard to...
No, not even close.
Yeah, I highly recommend just upping the dosage and your body will adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fast
metabolizer as well.
More of those, more babies, and you'll be fine.
I could chug 3 cups of coffee and go right to bed.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's sad. I'm not bragging.
Yeah. But
or maybe I am.
And with that too, if in other times people take before workouts, like Mash mentioned, like a pre-workout type of thing, or just an energy drink to help them. I'm tired after work. I'm gonna have Celsius and go work out. And yes, there is some evidence that it does help with maybe muscular endurance. Like it will help people perform a few more reps than they would without the energy drink. But then it affects their sleep. The fact that they did a couple more reps on the bench press on that workout and were able to get through, we know how important sleep is, and then they didn't recover well. So what are really the benefits of drinking that if you're working out in the afternoon? So there are a lot of things to think about with that. There are also some claims, or people ask me this a lot, like, does it help with weight loss, weight management, like body composition? And there were a lot of studies, not a lot, but at least enough studies that showed an increase in resting metabolic rate. So we do burn a few more calories, like acutely, like up to 2, 3 hours after. But that was not enough to really conclude that, yes, energy drink directly causes weight loss. I mean, exercise causes weight loss, or, good nutrition, caloric deficit, not necessarily the energy drink.
I wonder if it curves just the appetite level, satiety levels. Like, does it curve those? I know, like, if I'm drinking coffee, I'm not as hungry, whereas if I'm not, I'm probably going to. What about have there been any studies on caffeine's effects of people's hunger levels?
Yeah. So I agree with you on this particular studies. We did not look at that, or we did not address that. That's an interesting question. I would like to know if energy drinks, I know that caffeine, yes, will suppress appetite, but
Right.
I wonder if energy drinks will do the same. I imagine that it would for a couple hours. And then, once you're crashing, you might be even hungrier.
Yeah, so that would you
But I
have
don't
to look
have
at
the
that as well.
science. Yeah, I don't have the science. And also keep in mind, a lot of energy drinks have sugar. So, it helps with that boost of energy in the brain and overall, but then it's
Yeah,
adding calories. So,
that's a that's a good point there.
Are there?
I know, like this,
Oh God, sorry, dude.
I was just going to say, like, a lot of times I'll tell people if they're trying to lose weight, obviously protein helps with like hunger levels, but then I'll say, coffee or extra caffeine helps me as well. But that is completely anecdotal. I didn't know if there was any research to back up my anecdotal, thoughts on that.
yeah, in general it does, but I can't really say the same for energy drinks.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Mainly coffee is when I think of just trying to lose weight. I'm thinking coffee. I definitely don't think drink energy drinks when I think trying to lose weight.
It's tough when everything's a proprietary blend. Obviously, there's been lots of
Yeah.
research specifically on caffeine, and there's lots of research on even just like pure sugar and performance and endurance training and pre and post workout, et cetera. For things like you mentioned earlier, you mentioned like L-theanine or alpha GPC or any of these other things that are commonly in energy drinks. Can you go through maybe a short list of supplements that are commonly found in energy drinks, but maybe they're just like in low enough amounts where you don't get the effect? Maybe alpha GPC is an easy example. I know there's good research that shows that it has some benefits for cognitive performance, but I don't really think about alpha GPC really being in energy drinks. But I guess you said that you have seen that before. What are the other supplements that are in that kind of in this category that individually at high enough doses really do have a positive effect on cognition or on physical energy?
Yes, so to answer this question, I'm going to talk about alpha GPC first. So the only energy drink that I saw alpha GPC on was the Gorilla energy drink, which was a study we did. So I really looked into their ingredients, but alpha GPC was not listed in the 75 most popular energy drinks. Alpha GPC was not one of the ingredients, but I agree with you. Alpha GPC does have some good research in focus, and I do use that depending on the type of athlete I'm working with. But the amounts in energy drinks are hard to like a dosage of alpha GPC that you would take for focus and cognition, I would much rather have you just take that separately because the dosage in the energy drink is so small compared to the dosage that and the dosage that you can give to the client or the athlete is relative to their body weight and their needs, and the energy drink is just a general dose. But
Right.
yeah, so again, this list here has L-theanine, taurine, ginseng, guarana that I mentioned, vitamin B, mostly B12, B6, B3, some vitamin D, vitamin A, folate, and carnitine and magnesium. So not really a lot of other supplements. Yeah, so the most common ingredients other than caffeine and energy drinks are definitely B vitamins, taurine, sugar, just general vitamins, sometimes vitamin A and vitamin D, vitamin C. However, in terms of more like supplements, I mentioned alpha GPC, which I agree that it has good research to back up for focus, cognition. However, the amounts that I see on energy drinks are not enough to elicit this ergogenic benefit. So if I'm working with an athlete, I would put them on alpha GPC separately instead of, just giving them an energy drink that has some alpha GPC for that purpose. Yeah, and I think the L-theanine and the taurine are the two that are most common there with caffeine in terms of supplements that would help with that jittery aspect. The rest is mostly just vitamins or like electrolytes.
Mm.
Is there anything bad in there? Like, you always like there for forever, I feel like the energy drinks were getting such a bad rap. And like people were talking about how they're causing heart attacks, blah, blah, blah. But in those proprietary blends, do you ever find anything that is like maybe deadly?
Uh, I don't think anything deadly is specifically, but maybe the compounding effects of those ingredients together could be too much for a person that is maybe not used to it, or maybe an adolescent who still has like nervous system is still developing and then is just pounding monsters through the day, and the heart and the nervous systems are not able to take that. And also anyone, like I mentioned before, that has any cardiovascular disease or any type of high blood pressure or heart arrhythmia, I would stay away from it. But I cannot tell you like one single ingredient there. They're like, oh, this should never be there, it's deadly. Hopefully they wouldn't allow that. I
Right.
think it's more the combination. And like I said, for example, guarana and ginseng increase energy as well. And we don't know how much is in that blend, plus the caffeine. So you're just getting like a huge boost of energy in a can. And that at once can be too much, for the heart to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
We,
there
we, we,
any are there any like government regulations around it? I know every time like the supplement conversation comes up and everybody just goes, "Oh, none of this is like regulated and people it's going to be harmful to you." But those people probably love some energy drinks too. Like are there any rules around this stuff, or do they kind of fall into the supplement category where they can just write at the bottom, none of this has been FDA approved, drink at your own risk?
Yes, from my understanding, energy drinks are classified as functional beverages. So they're not classified as supplements. Um, so yes, can
Wait,
put
what else is a functional beverage? I've never heard that before.
um a beverage with a specific benefit other
outcome.
than water, you know. So it kind of falls within supplements, I guess, but not the same regulations. Supplements are regulated. So there was a great paper recently um, published on that, but that's a different podcast and conversation. So supplements are regulated. However, energy drinks, from my understanding, they can put in things that are not deadly, like Mesh asked.
Right.
However, until something happens, they are not really fully investigated. So let's say if someone died from drinking Monster, now the FDA is going to look into it. But there is no way they really looked into every single blend on those 500 energy drink companies and said, yeah, those are all perfectly healthy. Go ahead, everyone, and drink them. You know, it's just like, okay, it's caffeine and vitamins here. So yes, it's free for all. But yeah, they are not strictly regulated unless, again, something happened and then they go and really look into it, from my understanding.
Wait, so you've actually done the research on the energy drinks, right?
Yes, I've done three research projects on energy drinks. Two were submitted for publication recently, and that's with the ZOA and the Ghost. But the one that has been published about a year and a half ago was the Gorilla energy drink.
Hmm.
And the purpose with that was to see for specific performance outcomes like push-ups, hand grip strength, reaction time, sustained alertness, do the same amount of caffeine if we match the caffeine amount. So we did a pill of caffeine with crystal light as a placebo. So it tasted kind of similar to the flavor of the energy drink or the energy drink. We randomized people, they drink that 45 minutes after they did those tests. And it was a mood test, profile of mood, reaction time, sustained alertness, hand grip, a minute push-ups. And then 1 week washed out, they came back the next week and they had the opposite drink. And what we found was that the caffeine group and the energy drink group, we saw improvements in reaction time and mood after, from before drinking to after drinking, but we didn't see any differences between the caffeine group versus the energy drink group. So for those specific things that we measure, you could just drink the same amount of coffee and you would see the same benefits, was basically our conclusion. But let's say you don't like coffee and you want to drink half of a can of an energy drink of your choice. I'm not promoting here, but then, you might have those benefits as well, like better reaction time, cognitive function, or whatever the purpose is. Yeah.
Of the ones that you have tested, what do you feel like is kind of like the kind of like that like jitteriness, like the most aggressive energy drink, and then the closest to like a cup of coffee, like the least aggressive?
Yeah, so since I haven't tested too many, I would just say based on the amount of caffeine that they have, Red Bull seems to have the least amount. I think is around 80 to 100 milligrams. So that's like a cup of coffee.
Wow.
I cannot speak for the other.
Yeah. It's wild that you would say Red Bull. I feel like Red Bull still is like significantly more aggressive than a cup of coffee. But you mentioned Celsius earlier, and that one feels like meth. Like it makes my skin crawl having
sometimes it's like and it's hit or miss. It's like sometimes you can drink it and it's like,
yeah, it is very aggressive. And then good friends, love them, but Focus Aid is one of the most terrifying ones that exists. Like that,
really?
Oh my gosh, Travis, it is one of those things bright and early. You'll get through 6 podcasts in a day and you don't even have to think what you're doing. You just
now all you just guaranteed I'm gonna get some Focus Aid now. That's all you did right there.
Dude, have 2 in a day and see how
my goodness.
You'll write 16 brand new programs that you never even thought there was a goal for.
Okay. For sure call it Focus Aid.
For any science, follow Anders.
That's why I said, in your opinion. That's all I got. 0 published papers, lots of opinions. That's how we got here.
Exactly. That's what matters.
I mean, your opinion comes before science always. Science is always later to come. It's never first.
Yeah, but so I have not done a research on Red Bull. So I have a friend who works for Red Bull. So if she hears this podcast, she's going to be like, what? But Red Bull, in terms of caffeine, is 111 milligrams, which is lower than the others, but it could have other things like guarana, and I'm
good.
not aware. But Bang has 300 milligrams of just caffeine.
I've heard it's a
Bang, but
Yeah.
gangster.
Yeah.
And the other ones we tested, like Gorilla, which was the one that, we finished the paper and published last year, has 200 milligrams of caffeine. So that's another thing that we have to think about when we look at the results of the study, because 200 milligrams may not be the 3 milligrams per kilogram for most people. So we did that math and it was below that for most people. And that could also be the reason why we didn't see improvement on those other things like strength, push-ups, and reaction time. But yeah.
How much caffeine is in like a Coke?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much caffeine is in like a Coke or a Diet Coke?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think it's like 30 to 50 milligrams, something
It's
like that.
not very much.
I think it's like half a cup of coffee, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I don't drink Coke and I don't prescribe to any
I'm putting a
coffee.
hierarchy together right now, if you can't tell.
It's not
Based
like
on my daily needs,
plan.
Flavia said I should.
34 is what Google
And
pulls up.
8 ounces
No.
per 8
A 12,
ounces.
12-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains approximately 34 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, that's mellow. You can do that.
Oh
Yep.
God. Here we go. More science.
Yeah, you can drink 10 of those in a day. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You won't get fat
Everybody
at all.
here wants a hierarchy. If you wake up and you feel yourself a little Diet Coke to kick the day off, need a little more juice, hit the coffee. From there, Gorilla, Celsius is getting to the top. Bang Energy, hold on. PR day, game on. Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
And
Flavia,
then directly to the hospital after.
but based on your research, Flavia, so let's say that you were going to recommend, somebody said, hey, should I drink the energy drinks or should I drink coffee before working out? What would you tell them? What do you recommend?
I am biased towards coffee. However, again, there are some athletes, for example, at my university, the soccer athletes, they get Celsius and and they drink before games. And there is evidence that improves soccer performance, meaning aerobic performance or the ability to run at faster speeds for longer. So there is an ergogenic proven benefit, and they like it better than coffee. And we're talking about athletes that are really concerned with their performance, then yes. But if I'm talking about a general population person, then I would definitely say, yeah, just drink coffee. That would be my choice.
Got it.
It's like the most pure. Like you just gotta
Exactly.
know what you're getting. What Travis, have you ever had the diesel coffee from Caffeine and Kilos?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Really true. I don't know what bean they use, but it really is significantly more aggressive.
Man, I miss my caffeine. I need to start that back up. I love my Caffeine Kilos coffee. But yeah.
Significantly more aggressive. I don't know what type of bean they use in that, but there's a giant difference between your regular cup of coffee and that.
They work really hard at like sourcing the best beans. I mean, Danny is the man when it comes to that.
It's just like a double caffeine blend, right?
I mean, is the bean they source like the specific? I think it's a little bit of both. I think they sourced a specific bean, and then they doubled it up. And it was just like awesome.
Flavia, do you got any more energy drink research in your future here? What's like the next step?
Yes, well, I'm currently trying to survive my dissertation phase. So I'm doing creatine research at the moment.
Oh,
yeah.
We actually have a Calm and Clever supplement research that we're doing, and also lion's mane mushroom. So this year we're kind of pushing the energy drink studies. Maybe next year. I do enjoy those because it's nice to test each individual brand against caffeine and see, and just let people decide for themselves, like, hey, if this has similar benefits, if you don't like it, drink it. If you don't like the taste, drink the other. Yeah, but I'm researched out this year, I think.
I mean, I feel like I loved what you've said today. I mean, I've heard in the past, I've always heard people talk so much junk about energy drinks as if they're like poison, or you drink those and it's so much worse than if you just drink coffee. But hearing you talk, as long as get the right kind, I guess, like it's not that big of a difference. So
Yeah, another important point is caffeine used to be like, oh, it's so unhealthy, it's terrible for you. And now we see there are benefits of drinking caffeine. And again, as long as we stay within that range of 2 to 4 cups, it's kind of like the healthy recommended range. So that's what you have to keep in mind with energy drinks. Again, the caffeine, I'm biased towards that because, like Anders said, it's more pure. But if you don't like caffeine and you're not going to drink 2, 3 cups of caffeine before a soccer game, maybe just drinking one energy drink for performance, as long as you're not having more than one and not going over that dosage of 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, then I don't see like that, this huge villain, like, oh, don't drink it, like it's terrible for you. It's just not as pure and it has more caffeine, so you have to be aware.
mm.
Watch out for that proprietary blend.
Yeah.
Can't believe people get away with that. It's like
Yeah.
our ideas so special we can't tell you what you're actually ingesting right now.
But let me ask one more question. But like, do you have those energy drinks out there? Like, obviously in the pre-workouts, you have some people who are like, they're putting ingredients in there that shouldn't be in there. They're going to test you positive as an athlete. So, like, why are the energy drinks able to be so much more reliable than the pre-workout? That's why I like Corey Gregory's, because he guarantees that there's no contaminants in there.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know fully how to answer your question. I don't know why the FDA just says like energy drinks are in a category that we trust them. Um, I'm not sure. I think because they list the ingredients and even the proprietary blends are usually herbs,
Right.
you probably have to list the proprietary blends to the FDA, or it has to be listed somewhere in their company, but you don't have to put exactly in the can. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but I'm with you. They should list everything in there, the amounts and the effects, or at least, I don't know, have a QR code that we can go and look it up, something like that.
Yeah, because I've had friends of mine, luckily none of my own athletes, but friends of mine who, like been banned for a year, but because they took a pre-workout and they happen to have like what is it? One of those,
Mm-hmm.
like DMHA or DMAA, one of those, basically like a methamphetamine is what it is.
Yeah,
But
that's
that was,
crazy.
yeah. And so, but they just had like a little bitty dose of that. Next thing you know, they're popping. And so,
Yeah. Well, they should go to the enhanced games.
yeah,
That's right.
then just go all in.
I kind of forgot about that. What
I
happened to
know.
that? I haven't heard anything about it in many
I
months.
It went
mean,
off with almost like no popularity. It was just terrible.
oh,
What
so
I
happened?
saw a
did it?
picture of one swimmer that won the gold medal and then got yoked, but nobody paid attention. I saw a couple pictures. I can't even tell you how many world records were broken, but I saw one picture of a guy that went from like skinny swimmer to just like Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Olympia, like just savage looking. Um, but yeah, I don't think it got the. I'm wondering if it didn't get the press because it didn't go and like shatter every single world record that happened.
I don't think they did a good job marketing. I mean, I didn't see it anywhere hardly.
It's hard to market steroids. Everybody wants to watch natural, but everybody wants to believe it's clean, even if they know. It's
Even
like
deep
why
down, they know it's not.
it's like why Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa were so popular. Everybody knew you can't look like that and hit the ball that hard. But they wanted to believe. They wanted to believe. And if it's on the tagline, it says that everyone's on gas. It's just it doesn't Everyone's like, "Meh, we don't have to believe anymore. We know,
Man,
we know it's
there
not
was
real.
a survey done of
Not real."
baseball fans, and I mean, an overwhelming majority could care less of the baseball
Oh, yeah.
fans. They want to see bombs. When I go watch a baseball game, I want to see someone hit it out of the orbit. Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't care what they're
Dude,
taking.
So that home run derby was Sosa and McGuire. When McGuire hit one
Ugh,
over the Mass Pike,
yeah.
you were like, "Whoa!" I read it was like 9 or 10 years old when that happened. It was like, "Holy crap! This is a monster." I got to go on the field when I lived in San Diego when McGuire was the hitting coach for the Padres, and I looked
Yeah.
over the dugout and I was like 10 feet away from him. I had no idea it was him because
Oh,
I
man.
wanted juiced out old man Mark
Oh,
McGuire.
I love that era of
It was
baseball.
the best.
Everybody did. That was the best era of baseball. Anyone who says different is lying.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Barry Bonds hit a home run, and it was like this. It was like, it was gone. Like 1 second.
Yes.
It was
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. Barry Bonds was just Barry Bonds came in like after McGuire and Sosa and was just like so much better at it. He was like, "Oh, you guys introduced this to the sport.
Watch
Take
this.
what you know and add some real
He said,
realness
watch
to it."
this.
Yeah. I'm about to take this to the next level here, fellas.
Loved it. He had some
That's
energy
kind of like the
drinks.
enhanced games when everybody knew, and then it was like, "Oh, you're too good at it. Like you perfected the drugs, and now we know."
He was drinking those ghost energy drinks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Flavia, where can the people find you?
At coach.flavia on Instagram.
Coach Try to Smash.
Go to mashelite.com.
Spaghetti Gold's Gym tank top you got on.
Mashelite.com.
For all those who,
I'm selling pics. I'm kidding. No.
for everybody that is listening in their car, Try to Smash just broke my computer screen with a double bicep pose and a spaghetti tank top.
I'm going to do it as long as I can do it. Yeah.
Tell the people. Go ahead.
Mashelite.com, or you can go to Instagram, Mashelite Performance.
Doug Larson.
I'm on Instagram, Douglas E. Larson.
And I am Anders Varner at Anders Varner, and we are Barbell Shrugged at Barbell_Shrugged. And make sure you get over to rapidhealthreport.com. That's where Dan Garner, Dr. Andy Galpin are doing a free lab lifestyle and performance analysis. You can access that over at rapidhealthreport.com. Friends, we'll see you guys next week.